Alrighty, hello and welcome to this boss guide for Formosus the Undying. Formosus is a level 75 boss found in the timeline Blood, Frost, and Death. Formosus is not an especially challenging fight, but there are a couple of mechanics that can definitely kill a player if they're not paying attention. The damage types for Formosus are necrotic, physical, and cold. The modifiers to avoid are Enrage at half health, Frenzy and Haste when hit, Armor and Prots as a percentage of health, and also deadly if not damaged recently. This one is largely due to there being multiple enemies to keep track of. It's very possible that you could lose track of even Formosus himself for a period of longer than 4 seconds. As far as mechanics for this fight, it's a one-phase fight, so it's relatively simple in that regard, but there are multiple things happening all at once. The fight begins after killing a group of trash undead enemies and then moving into the arena. Initially, the fight will consist of Formosus, an undead version of the Wengari Matriarch, and 4 undead Wengari axe throwers. The adds can be killed, but Formosus will resummon them throughout the fight. The axe throwers have low damage and low health, and can be dispatched of easily. The Matriarch has a moderate damage melee attack, and a moderate to high damage leap attack. The leap attack most likely does cold fizz, and possibly even necrotic, and should be avoided. The Matriarch also seems to have less health than her living counterpart. Both add types should be killed whenever possible, with the Matriarch being the priority as the fight becomes much simpler when she is dead. As for Formosus himself, he has multiple mechanics. First off, he has an AoE slow, where Formosus puts a patch of frost on the ground, which slows the player. The patch itself does not do damage, but makes it more difficult to avoid the other mechanics, so the player should move out of it. Formosus also has a ranged attack where he shoots 3 projectiles that attempt to track the player while taking wide arcs. The projectiles seem to be necrotic and cold, but like many attacks in this encounter, cold and necrotic are similar in color, so it is hard to differentiate between them. The attack does low to moderate damage and therefore is mostly a gear check. Strafing side to side when the attack occurs is the best way to avoid being hit by it. Formosus can also attack players from melee range with the staff, doing low to moderate damage. This is largely a gear check and only occurs if the player is in melee range of Formosus. Formosus can also teleport to different positions around the arena from time to time. Teleport itself does no damage, but the player will have to relocate Formosus, who often moves off screen. Formosus will also do a necrotic/cold beam attack. Like the range attack, it isn't entirely clear that both damage types exist here, but this is the most likely outcome given the nature of the fight. Either way, standing in the beam does high damage over time and should be avoided. The attack is telegraphed with a blue light on the ground, so as soon as the player sees the light, they should move from the area. The final mechanic is also the most dangerous, and I'm going to call it Ice Storms. Formosus summons 3 decent-sized ice storms that slowly move around the map. They do cold and possibly necrotic damage over time, and the damage is very high, so players standing in one of these will die quickly. The storms last a long time, and Formosus can summon more storms while pre-existing storms have not expired, meaning it's possible to have 6 storms in the area at one time. Avoid these at all costs. Alright, that sums up this boss fight. I hope this is helpful for players who are attempting to down Formosus. As always, I stream 5 to 6 days a week on Twitch and would love to have you come and join. Come and check out some more LE gameplay, some theory crafting, some other mono, even some arena, and there are tournaments that go on that I also compete in, so feel free to check those out as well. I also have a Discord where we talk all things LE and other ARPGs and even some other RPGs. Feel free to come and check that out, hang out with us. All right, thank you so much for watching. Have a great time in Last Epoch.